Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. The topic which is under discussion is Introduction to Computer Science, Telecommunications and Networks. Outline: Telecommunication data transmission characteristics, communication media, network classification, network topologies, network hardware. Telecommunication. Telecommunication originally referred to the sending and receiving of information over telephone lines. Telecommunication data transmission characteristics. Rate of transmission is called bandwidth. Type of signal: there are two types, analog or digital. Order of bits, parallel or serial. Data transmission characteristics. Bandwidth: data is transferred from one computer to another computer in digital forms, ones and zeros, known as bits. In a network, the number of bits that can be transferred per second over a given medium is known as bandwidth. The basic measurement of bandwidth is bits per second. Bandwidth varies among different types of communication media, like optical fiber and traditional telephone wires. Bandwidth is like a pipe that carries digital information, ones and zeros, from one computer to another in a network. It tells us how much data can flow through that pipe in 1 second. We measure bandwidth in bits per second. Different types of communication cables, like fiber optics or telephone wires, have different amount of bandwidth. Analog and digital transmission. Telephone systems were established to carry voice transmissions using analog signals. An analog signal is composed of continuous waves transmitted over a medium at a certain frequency range, which is the number of complete fluctuations in energy per sound wave. Changes in the way translation reflect that changes in voice and sound, pitch, or tone. In addition to using telephone lines, some cellular networks, cable television system, and satellite dishes use analog communications media for carrying voice and sound transmission. Telephone systems were initially designed for carrying voice using analog signals. Analog signals are continuous waves that travel through a medium at specific frequency range, representing changes in voice, pitch, or tone. This analog transmission is used not only in telephone lines but also in some cellular networks, cable TV systems, and satellite dishes for transmitting voice and sound. This is the graph for amplitude and time for the analog and digital transmission. Kind of waves are splitting over there. Analog and digital transmission. Computer cannot understand data in analog form. Computer used the binary number system to transform data into digital signals. Communication technologies generally employ digital signal. Whenever digital data is sent from one computing device to another computing device over an analog communication medium, such as telephone line, but the sending and receiving device must be equipped with a modem. A modem converts digital signal into analog form. So, an analog communication medium can send through signals. Modem also convert incoming analog signal back to their digital equivalents. Computer can receive those signals. But now, some newer modems can transmit and receive digital data without analog conversion provided they are connected to the right communication media. Analog and digital transmission, modulation and demodulation. The term modem is derived from the word modulate and demodulate. Modulation refers to the process of changing a digital signal into an analog signal. Demodulation refers to the process of changing an analog signal into the digital signal. Parallel and serial transmissions are two methods used to transfer data between devices. Here is very simple explanation of the difference between them. Parallel transmission definition. In parallel transmission, multiple bits of data are sent simultaneously over multiple wires or channels. Example, think of it like a team of people carrying multiple packages at once from one place to another. Each person is responsible for one package and all packages move at the same time. Advantages: faster data transfer for short distance, simultaneous transmission of multiple bits. Disadvantages: more complex and expensive cables and connectors, susceptible to timing issues, bits arriving at different times. Serial transmissions. In serial transmission, bits of data are sent one after another over a single wire or channel, packaged to the next until it reaches the destination. Simpler and more cost-effective cabling. Easier synchronization of data, especially over longer distances. Slower compared to parallel transmission for the same amount of data. Each bit must be sent sequentially, which may take more time. Parallel and serial transmission. Recall that peripheral devices typically are connected to the system unit of a personal computer by means of a cable, one end of which is plugged into the device and other plugged in a port or interface the system unit. Older computers are equipped with two types of ports: parallel ports, serial ports. Data travels within a computer system and over long distance in either parallel or serial form. During transmission, 8 bits represents a single byte plus 1 bit is called a parity bit or transmitted. The additional bit called a parity bit is sent together with the 8 data bits for error checking. Parallel and serial transmission. In parallel transmission, 8 bits a byte plus a parity byte are transmitted at the same time over 9 separate paths. 9 paths why? There is a bonus on the correct answer. Tell me please in the comments. Serial transmission. In serial transmission, the byte plus the parity bit are transmitted one bit after another in continuous line. The smallest unit is bit. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits and so on. 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes. 1 MB is equal to 1024 kilobytes. 1 GB is equal to 1024 megabytes. 1 terabyte is equal to 1024 gigabytes. 1 petabyte is equal to 1024 1024 terabyte, 1 exabyte is equal to 1024 petabyte, 1 zettabyte is equal to 1024 exabyte, 1 yottabyte is equal to 1024 zettabyte, 1 zenottabyte is equal to 1024 yottabyte. One cell transmission of 8 bit data. Users must have access to communication media to communicate. Users must have access to communication media to communicate between computing devices. A communication medium is a link or a connection that allows computer in different locations to be connected. Types of media: wired communication media, wireless communication media, wired communication media. While many computers, devices, and networks now use wireless technologies, many others continue to use wired technologies as a means of communicating. Twisted pair cable. This cable of one of the older type of communication. This cable of one of the older type of communication media that were originally developed for telephone networks. Oh, no, sorry. This cable is one of the older types of or communication media that were originally developed for telephone networks. Early versions consisted of wires wrapped or twisted around one another reduce noise. Twisted pair cable. Today, such cables used with computer network typically consist of two parallel copper wires, each individually wrapped in plastic and bound together by another plastic casing. Twisted pair cable can be used to connect computers in network for transmitting data over relatively short distance. To ensure more accurate transmission over long distance, repeater stations may be positioned along way to refresh or strengthen the communication signal. Today, such cables used with this computer especially consist of two parallel copper wires, each individually wrapped in plastic and bound together by another plastic casing. Twisted pair cable can be used to connect computers in a network for transmitting data over relatively short distance. To ensure more accurate transmission over long distance, repeater stations may be positioned a long way to refresh or strengthen the communication signals. Coaxial cable. It is commonly used for television connections in telephone networks and in some computer networks. The cable consists of an insulated center wire grounded by a shield of a braided wire. It is usually more expensive than twisted pair but can carry much more data as compared to twisted pair cable. Can transmit digital signal about 10 Mbps. This is kind of a shape coaxial cable. Fiber optic cable. Twisted pair cable and coaxial cable both contains copper conductor and transmit electrical signals. Stream of electrons. A fiber optic cable uses a string of glass to transmit photons, beam of light. Data is converted into beam of light by laser device and transmitted as light pulse. At receiving end, Optical detectors convert the transmitted light pulses into electrical pulses that computing device can read. Cladding and core fiber optic cable. Faster transmission speeds up to 1 trillion bits per second. Higher data transmission volumes. Greater security. Longer cable life. फूफो दरवाजा बंद कर देना. Wireless technologies includes wireless communication media. Wireless tech media transmit information as electromagnetic signals through the air. Wireless technologies includes microwave system, satellite system, infrared technology, Wi-Fi technology, Bluetooth technology. Wireless technologies, microwave system. Microwave transmission involve the sending and receiving on information in a form of high frequency radio signals. A microwave system transmits data to the atmosphere from one microwave station to another, or from a microwave station to a satellite. Microwave stations are often placed on the top of hills, mountain, or building to ensure unobstructed transmission routes. A communication satellite is a solar powered electronic device containing several small specialized radios called transponders. Transponder receives signal from a transmission station on the ground that called an earth station. Communication satellites are positions thousands of miles above the earth. A satellite receives transmitted signals, amplifies them, and then retransmits them to the appropriate location on the earth. A communication satellite is a solar powered device in space with small radios called transponders. These satellites positioned far above Earth receive signals from ground stations, amplify them, and then send back to specific locations on Earth. Satellite communication. Infrared technology. In recent years, infrared technology has become increasingly popular for providing wireless communication links between computers and peripheral devices. Infrared technology transferred data as a light wave instead of radio wave. Cellular technology. People can communicate wirelessly to and from nearly anywhere in the world using cellular technology. Cellular phones and devices works by maintaining contacts with cellular antenna. Wi-Fi technology. The most used wireless technology today is Wi-Fi. Wireless fidelity. Fidelity. Wi-Fi is a wireless local area network. WLAN wireless local area network. Technology based on the 802.11 standards of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers IEEE. Wireless access point is a hardware device that transmits a wireless network signals to Wi-Fi enabled device. Wi-Fi technology. Smart plug universal. Power on and start. Universal IR remote controller. Universal remote. Networks vary enormously, from simple Interoffice systems connecting a few personal computers and printers to complex global system connecting thousands of computer and computer devices. Networks can be classified by their architecture, the relative distance they cover, the users they are designed to support. Network classification. The term architecture refers to the network is designed and built, just as architecture of a building refers to its design and construction. Client or server, peer-to-peer. Client-server architecture. In client-server architecture, a client such as a network personal computer workstation or terminal can send a request to and receive services from another typically more powerful computer called a server. This server can store programs, files, and data that are available to authorized users. Peer-to-peer architecture. Peer-to-peer architecture is a network design in which computers comprising the network have equivalent capabilities and responsibilities, each acting as both client and server. Peer-to-peer networks are usually simpler to install and maintain. However, they may not perform well as client-server networks when they are operating under heavy workload. Peer-to-peer architecture is when computers in a network have equal roles, acting as both clients and servers. These networks are easy to set up and maintain but may not work as efficiently as client-server network under heavy use. Network classification by coverage. Small networks confined to a limited geographical area are called local area networks, while wide area networks are extensive and may span hundreds of miles. Local area networks. Local area network is a private network serving the needs of a business organization or school with computer located in the same building or area such as those found on college campus. There are two main types of networks based on coverage. Small ones, like those within a building or campus, are called local area networks. Large networks that cover extensive distances, even hundreds of miles, are known as wide area networks. Wide area networks span a large geographical area connecting two or more lands. A business might use a WAN to communicate between a manufacturing facility in one state or a corporate headquarters in another. Government, universities, and large corporations use WANs to share data among separate networks. Wide area networks cover large areas connecting multiple local area networks. They are used by business, government entities, universities, and large corporations to share between different locations, like linking a manufacturing facility in one state with the corporate headquarters in another. Networks can also be classified by the groups of users they were designed to accommodate. The classification include intranets, a network that is housed within an organization to serve internal user is called an internet. Intranet. Access to an intranet typically protected by a firewall which consists of special hardware and software that prevent or restrict access to and from the networks. Extranet. It is an extension of an intranet that allows specified external users, including customer and business partner, access to the internal applications and data via the internet. An extranet allows external user with a valid user ID and password to pass through the firewall and access certain resources in the organization's network. Intranet. These are networks within an organization for internal users. Access is protected by firewall to control network access. Extranets. Extension of intranet that enables specific internal external users like customer and business partners to access internal applications and data where the internet users need a valid ID and password to pass through the firewall and access specific resources in the organization's network. Network topology or layout in a pattern by which the network is organized. Topology should not be confused with the actual wiring path of a network, which is determined by physical layout of wall and flow. One way to think of topology is the picture of a map showing roads, rivers, railroads, mountains, and others. The relationship between the various locations can be understood by looking at maps. The common network topology are bus, star, ring. Network topology is like a blueprint for how a network is arranged, but it's not the actual wires. It is more like a map showing how different parts of the network are connected. Imagine roads, rivers, and mountains are maps on a map. That's how parts of a network related to each other, the common types of bus, star, ring. In bus topology, all computers are linked by means of a single line of cable with two end points. The cable connection is called a bus. Star topology. In a star topology, multiple computers or peripheral devices are linked to the central hub in a point-to-point configuration resembling a star. Network topology, ring topology. In a ring topology, there is no hub and each other computer is connected to or more other devices in a circular path. A type of ring technology called token ring uses a single electronic signal or token to pass information from the source's computer to the destination. Setting up a computer network generally requires special hardware to link all the computers and facilitate communication. LAN and WAN are may require different hardware devices. The network hardware include hubs, switches, repeaters, bridges, gateways. A hub is an electronic device used in older LAN topologies to link computers and allow them to communicate with another. Best suited for small, simple local area network environment. It acts with shared bandwidth and broadcasting. The speed of the hub network is up to 10 MB per second. A hub is an old school electronic device for connecting computers in small local networks. It allows them to talk to each other but has some limitations. It shares bandwidth and broadcasts information to all connected computers. The speed of a hub network is up to 10 megabytes per second. Switch. A network with switch connects devices within a network and forward data packets to and from those devices. A switch only sends data to the signal device it is intended for, not to network from multiple devices. Repeaters. A repeater is a device that amplifies and regenerates signals as they pass through the network. The primary purpose of a repeater is to extend the distance of a network by increasing the strength and quality of signals over long distances or through dense blocks. Bridges. The bridges of a networking device in a computer network that is used to connect multiple lanes to larger LAN. It stores the MAC address of PC available in a network. The bridge is used to reduce network traffic. Bridges. These are the bridges. Network hardware. Gateway. A gateway is a device there or node that connects disparate networks by translating communications from one protocol to another. A gateway is a device that connects different networks by translating their communication language. It helps network using different protocols to talk to each other. Thank you. We will meet in the next lecture. See you soon, guys. Take care. Allah Hafiz.